Hello and welcome back to Ruben Uncut. Today, surprise review for Thanksgiving. No, I don't mean how my actual Thanksgiving worked out, although I would give it maybe 6.5, maybe 7. It was all right. Got to see some of the fam. You know how it goes. But I'm actually here to talk about the movie Thanksgiving. For those of you not familiar with the movie Thanksgiving, it came out this year. But the fun part about this movie for me is that even though I didn't know it, had been waiting for this movie since way back in the early 2000s when this original trailer first played. This trailer was originally part of the movie Grindhouse. I will be obscuring some of the picture, to deal with any copyright issues.
This holiday season, prepare to have the stuffing scared out of you. Thanksgiving. In the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts, the fourth Thursday in November is the most celebrated day of the year. The table is set. The festivities have begun. One uninvited guest has arrived, and this year, there will be no leftovers. Thanksgiving. White meat,
Edit around that.
dark meat, all will be carved. Thanksgiving.
Come on, Judy, how about it?
Happy Thanksgiving, baby.
Thanksgiving.
Cool it, Judy. You're safe. Mommy's here. It's blood. Son of a bitch.
Arrive hungry.
Happy Thanksgiving, Grandma.
Leave stuffed. From director Eli Roth. Thanksgiving. You'll come.
You're gonna have to edit around some of that. Wasn't expecting the boobage. So yeah. But so that's the trailer for Thanksgiving. Now that trailer is fake. And what I mean by that trailer is fake is because that trailer was a fictional trailer. I mean, hypothetically, all trailers for movies are fictional. But that movie was a parody trailer that was included with the two-part underrated cinematic kind of masterpiece, which is Grindhouse, which featured the double feature of Planet Terror and Death. Now, they played Planet Terror first, but they should have played Death Proof first because Planet Terror was better. But that's besides the point. One of the fake trailers they included was this. They also featured a trailer from Edgar Wright called Don't, and a trailer from Rob Zombie called Werewolf Women of the SS. Whether or not we'll get to see Edgar Wright's Don't or Rob Zombie's Werewolf Woman of the SS, who knows? Who knows? But hey, if this movie makes money, maybe we will get to see those movies. So this year, they came out with the actual movie Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth. Now, it's not in the sort of... Now, that trailer is very clearly making fun of, well, Halloween specifically. Like the atmosphere is very 1970s. It's got a lot of 1970s type shtick in it. But the movie that has just come out is not trying to be that. Eli Roth decided to go in a different direction and make it an actual movie with a real plot and not just some gags to make fun of those movies. For example, several of the scenes we saw there, while there is stuff from the trailer that is included in the movie, there's a couple scenes there that are not. Specifically the car fellatio scene where she reaches up and the guy's head is gone. That's not in the actual movie. So what is the actual movie about? Well, the actual movie about that came out is, well, it's about sort of the same thing, kind of. The major thrust of the plot to Thanksgiving 2023 is that there is a family who owns a major chain store, kind of Walmart-esque, if you will. And they essentially have this deal. They are going to start, they're one of those people who are starting their Thanksgiving, their Black Friday sale Thanksgiving evening, which has become more and more common as Black Friday sales have become more and more ridiculous over the last few years. Side note, can't wait for No Shave November to be over. I could have done No Fap November, but screw that. We went no shave over here, at least on my face. All right, but let's get back to this. Stop being distracted by my bushy, itchy beard. Halloween. I mean, Thanksgiving. I keep wanting to call it Halloween. That's not helpful. But Thanksgiving here features a guy going around in a pilgrim outfit with a what is he called? John, I think he's a real person, former mayor of Plymouth or whatever. He looks kind of like, he honestly looks kind of like the Burger King. But this guy here goes around trying to kill people. Now, I have gotten ahead of myself. Back to the Black Friday thing. What? So, because we need to know why he's trying to go around killing people. So, one year, the first year this store decides to stay open, they're having their Black Friday sale starts Thursday evening, and there's a whole bunch of people trying to get into this place. And of course, it takes place in Plymouth, Massachusetts, so everybody are a-holes. So what ends up happening is the daughter of the guy who owns the store, she's hanging out with her friends. They're trying to go see the movies, but one of her friends, the douchiest of her friends, like honestly, the guy you're waiting the whole movie to die because it's kind of his fault. He's at least partially responsible for everything that happens. But basically, he's like, "Hey, my phone is broken. Let's drop by your dad's store so I can get a new phone." So they do, and of course, she works there, so she knows how to get in the like back doors and whatnot. Now, unfortunately, some local yokels from Hanover see that they have broken in and start yelling about it. At which point, the douchebag starts taunting them with the phone he's about to buy that they can see through the glass doors. This prompts a riot, essentially, and everybody rushes the store, and it's a disaster with people being. One guy gets his throat cut open on some broken glass. A security guard gets trampled to death. A high school athlete gets his arm broken and therefore can no longer throw his winning speed pitch or whatever, sports stuff. And the wife of an overworked manager gets her head crushed by essentially a shopping cart, and then her hair gets stuck in the shopping cart and she gets scalped. By the way, this is a very gory movie, and I will say, thank God for practical effects. After a summer of just nauseating CGI gore, it is nice to see a movie with nauseating practical effects, because they're nauseating because it looks not computer generated. And then computer generated gore looks nauseating because it's like, bitch, we know it's fake. It looks terrible. It's ugly. Just gross. I'm looking at you, Expendables 4. There were other movies, but that's the one that sticks out in my mind of, oh God, what were they thinking? That movie would have been better off being PG-13 without the gore, because the gore looks so fucking bad. Where was I? Right. Thanksgiving. So yeah, it's a pretty graphic movie. So heads up, if you're not in for graphic, then this is not for you. That being said, while I did just commend the movie on its use of practical gore effects, which if you're a fan of those things, it's got a lot to offer. It's very violent. There's significantly less nudity than the fake trailer. I will say that. That maybe you see one set of boobs in the movie. I honestly don't remember seeing more sets of boobs. I don't remember any boobs. I can't remember if we see that cheerleader's boobs because that trampoline scene kind of happens. Although the trampoline scene is kind of toned down. In the trailer, you may notice that it looks like she lands directly with the knife going up her hoo-ha. In the movie, she lands on it with her foot, and then it stabs her repeatedly. And I'm going to be honest here, I'm not entirely sure if this was a deliberate artistic choice on Eli Roth, who was like, you know what, it was untasteful. Although, or if it's more likely the Motion Picture Association, once this was a full film and not just a parody trailer, was like, hold up a second, young man. That's too far. It may be murderous, but it's also sexual. You better not have that woman land on her hoo-ha with the knife. She lands on it with her foot now. Wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, the car fellatio scene also not in the new movie. Although it is vaguely implied. Well, no, never mind. I won't. That scene's just not there. Okay, it's not implied. I was gonna say something about characters, but then I was like, well, that's not actually how the characters play out in the real movie. Never mind. What proceeds to follow is a lot of what you could have hoped from the original trailer. Obviously, without the 70s grindhouse thing going on. I'm not sure. I assume that was dropped for commercial reasons rather than artistic reasons. Like, I just don't know if that was the kind. Like, if the movie was shot like it was the 70s, would it have had a wide release? I don't know. It may have gone as far as Hobo with a Shotgun got, and that was not very far. If you haven't seen Hobo with a Shotgun, it's wild. Oh, right. I was talking about the gore. Most of the gore is practical effects, but there are a couple moments where they are using CGI blood, and those moments are they stand out. And they're kind of like, why? I don't know what prompted those occasional moments. It stands out. Most of it is practical effects, but the occasional CGI blood here and there kind of stands out against the rest of the blood. The blood is the campiest part of the movie. I will say that. Like, there's definitely like moments where there's just like ridiculous amounts of blood, and it's clear the movie does not want you to take it seriously. I don't want to give too much away for anyone who might want to watch this movie, because a big part of the film is that we don't know this person's identity for most of the movie, or at least we shouldn't. But if I'm going to give it to you straight, he was my first suspect. It was the first person I thought it might be, and it was very close to why I thought it would happen. Because you see, what happens is that there's the whole chaos at the store, and then the next year, someone in a pilgrim costume starts going around murdering everyone that they blamed for the violence at the store. Now, I will say there is a handful of people who are arguably innocent who get killed in the grand scheme of things by the pilgrim or circumstantially because of the pilgrim. So he's not exactly he's not great as far as vigilante murderers go, but he was exactly who I thought he was. No, don't get me wrong. I I watched the movie all the way through going, hey, I could be wrong. It might be one of these other characters the film is clearly setting up. But at most of the other characters, my major thought was, well, this is a clear red herring. That's a clear red herring. No, I don't buy that it's that character. And then it's revealed who the actual pilgrim is. And it's like, okay, yeah, no, it was my first suspect. It was my first suspect. And the first thing that gave it away, one of the first times we see him with the mask on, he doesn't have the hat, so you can see the top of his hair. Which allowed me to which didn't really guarantee which of the guys it was, but it allowed me to rule out almost all the red herring murderers. Yeah. I do think the guy. No, I won't say that. But at the end of the day, I can't say I was terribly shocked or surprised by the quote unquote reveal of the character. It just wasn't not a surprise to me. It was like, okay, yeah, no, that makes the most sense with everything the movie is set up. The movie tries to throw a lot of red herrings at us, a lot of things that could be clues, could be surprises, could be, oh, is it this guy? And it's like, no, it's not that guy. We saw the hair. We saw the hair, you fucking idiots. Which, if I had to dock the movie points for anything, it would definitely be that. It would definitely be the fact that by the time we get to who this guy is, not terribly surprising. Most logical person it could have been. And we kind of already have most of his motivation. At the end of the twist, we get another layer of the motivation, but like we could have guessed that extra layer of motivation just based on things that are already in the movie, which is kind of good. Like it means that the clues are there and you follow them. It's like, yeah, it's that guy. But like none of the red herrings really make sense. There is one character here kind of like, well, that guy's a huge douchebag. I hope he either gets killed or he is a pilgrim. It's not. Like, I'm actually surprised that character's not killed off. Maybe the movie is making a very un-Hollywoody point about two of these characters, but like, it's like there's characters who at a certain point in the movie are like, oh no, you suck. I hope you do die. There are a lot of douchebags in this movie. Maybe it's because it's set in Massachusetts. No offense to Massachusetts. But there are a few characters who are definitely douchebags. You know what I'm saying? This is not. I don't think this is not a Massachusetts accent. I don't know what There's a lot of douchebags. Nope, I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop trying to do that accent right now. Park the car in Harvard Yard. A lot of douche. Nope. I said I was gonna stop. We're gonna stop. Can't say the word douchebag with a New England accent for some reason. Oh, what else is there to say about this movie? Okay, so as far as like, there weren't a lot of moments that I found super scary. There are some nice set pieces, some nice like, ooh, they're running for it. Ooh, will they get away type moments throughout the movie for sure. Absolutely for sure. 100%. But I'm gonna jump. So if you're interested in seeing this movie, and if you like gory, campy horror movies, it's not that it's only mildly like it's not crazy campy, and it's not like Scream levels of self-aware. But Eli Roth clearly knows what kind of movie he's making here, and it's also not as like campy homage as the trailer. There are a number of things in the trailer that are in the movie, including a couple of kills, although they are slightly different in the final film. So feel free to check out this movie. Please let me know what you thought about it, either by commenting on the Spotify or commenting on where this will eventually be posted on YouTube. Or you can even email the show at rubenandcut@gmail.com. Now, So please like and subscribe wherever you're checking this out. But I'm going to jump into some spoilers here because I got to talk about my one actual complaint with the movie. Because this is the thing that always annoys me is when my complaint about a movie has to do with like the twist or the reveal at the end. Because then it's like I can't really get into like the thing that I either did or didn't like about the movie without like taking a piece away from anyone else who might be witnessing the movie. And I know I got one loyal follower who always like, we don't care about spoilers. Just we want to hear your thoughts. And I get that and I appreciate that. But like I'm a very conscientious person. Maybe you don't care if I spoil these movies, but I don't want to take away anyone who might want the opportunity to try and enjoy them. The spoilers. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, stop right now. Okay. Only people who either don't care about the spoilers or who watched the movie already are here now. Okay, cool. It's the cop. The cop. Really? It's the cop? I mean, it was obvious. He had the only hair that matched. He had strong. He was one of the first people in the store who A, lived, and B, was freaking out about how disgusting it all was. And he like shoots his gun in the air, and it just and it makes sense that he would have had that he probably would have thought to steal the security cam footage before that one bitch deleted it. And it make and like they mentioned specifically it had to be someone with some type of military or tactical training, and maybe they're trying to throw it off onto like McCarty's dad or something. But like, what? That guy's barely in the movie and he's bald. At least set up a possible red herring that's at least a guy who's got the same hair. I don't know what's happening with my voice. I'm sorry. At least set up a guy who's got like the right hair as the red herring. Did you think the audience wouldn't notice the hair? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And like the very first scene, the cop. Okay, so first of all, the movie opens with like the Jason Michael Myers-esque first person view coming up the door of this house on Thanksgiving. He's got the heavy breathing and whatnot, and they open the door and it's the cop. Now, at first, your thoughts like, "Oh, fake jump scare," but like, no, the movie is straight up telling us, "Oh, by the way, this is the murderer. This is the guy who's going to be the murderer. He doesn't have a reason yet, but he's going to be him." And the first thing we do is we meet. So there's like the store supervisor, and then we meet the store supervisor's wife, and it's immediate that they are fucking. Like, you know, immediately that the cop and this wife either have some type of sexual chemistry or they are actually fucking. One of these, because like the way they talk and the way that they're clearly flirting, they're clearly like she at bare minimum is into him. So when it's revealed later that they were having an affair and that she was pregnant with his child, it's not surprising. It makes total sense. And I mean, the fact that it makes total sense is simultaneously a sign of good storytelling. Because like if it didn't make sense, that'd be bad. But at the same time, it's like this. At the same time, it just feels very obvious that it was him. And like the film tries to set us up with a bunch of red herrings, like Bobby the athlete whose arm was broken and he couldn't play high school baseball anymore. Or like I forget who the other red herrings are, but they set up a handful of red herrings. Like even when that one woman's trying to escape, she kicks over a bin full of baseballs. And like my first thought was, oh, they're trying to make us think it's Bobby. I kind of wish the girl's dad had died. I'm not gonna lie. I understand that the film wants us to like the film doesn't want us to think he's a good guy, but it does want us to think that his bitch new wife is the reason all of this happened. But like, he's kind of a bad dude too. I mean, he's not as bad, but like, he's still responsible and a piece of shit, corporate garbage man. But like, and it totally makes sense that the cop then, like, at the beginning of the movie, he has almost no relation to that family. But then when we come back a year later, he's clearly made himself close to that family. It's because he's fucking stalking them to murder them. And But there's a couple things about it that bother me. First of all, he must be a genuine sociopath of some kind. Because the main girl's not a bad person. She's just not. She's a person who let her friends pressure her into making a mistake, which actually hypothetically is also what technically happened to her dad. I wonder if there's a theme here. If there is a theme here, I don't know how. It's not super well put into the fore, or it's not super well developed. But like, he's enough interactions with this girl that like I can't help but feel like at some point he would stop blaming her specifically, like that murdering and like torturing these people would be enough punishment for her. I mean, I understand at the end she figures out who he is, so he kind of has to kill her then, but like he's so vindictive against her, and there's just a very strong level of he's seen the security tapes. So like he knows he has witnessed the things that happened in the store. So he knows which two people actually, he knows who actually killed the woman he loved. So it's weird that like he didn't take out the majority of his anger on that woman. I mean, she died pretty bad. We can't lie. But like she was the first to die. And like it's like, wouldn't you, if you're doing this because it's all your anger is over this, wouldn't you, I don't know, want her to suffer psychologically the most? Yeah. Oh, by the way, his face only looks like this for one scene. There's a scene where he burns the mask a little bit, and then he puts it back on. But he has like a whole stack of clean ones, and he just puts a new one on afterwards. He seemed I wasn't excited by the reveal. In my mind, the reveal made total sense, and it wasn't shocking or surprising. I didn't buy a single one of the red herrings. Like it just like the red herrings didn't ring true enough to fool me. There was another thing about his character that kind of bothered me, but I don't remember what it is. But I found the reveal very underwhelming. My other thing is that she ends up with the slimy douchebag boyfriend, which I guess is kind of like a refreshing inversion of the trope, because normally, like in most movies, that guy probably would have died, and she would have ended up getting back together with her previous boyfriend character, Bobby. Bobby's name is the only one I remember, to be completely honest with you. Oh no, there was Yulia, the one cheerleader chick whose dad comes off like he's in the Russian mob, which that could easily have been something. This creepy like Russian like rich dude living, like it felt like there could have been something that could have been done with that. And like there's a bunch of people that he chooses to stun dart instead of murder. Like, and I guess it makes sense that he stun darts the cop. Like he's not interested in murdering the cops, which makes a lot of sense, right? In hindsight. But why didn't he kill Yulia's dad? And it's just some random people where it's like, well, why didn't he kill those people? But he killed that guy. Like, maybe I missed whoever the turkey costume guy was. Maybe he was one of the terrible offenders in the store at the beginning of the movie. But like his death just happens, and you're like, oh, what the fuck did that guy do? Did he kill that guy just for distraction? Maybe. You would have thought that smoke bombs would have been enough of a distraction, but yeah. Overall, I would though say solid slasher film. If you like slashers, it's solid. It's a solid time. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about that. Thank you for listening. Like I said, like and subscribe, do all that fun jazz. And Don't do don't be toxic at Black Friday. Black Friday really is the evilest day of the year. Did you know that? Pure evil. Lost my train of thought. But anyways, wherever you are, whenever you are, have a happy whatever.